What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and for this one I wanted to give you guys another updated top 10 list. This time we're going to be taking a look at the blast category. Now keep in mind, this is my personal top 10, so yours may look completely different from this because you may not have some of these characters, or your experiences using these characters may be completely different than what I have had with them, right? So that may be why your top 10 looks differently, and if that's the case, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. Now if you take a look right here, you'll notice I have 11 characters favorited. These characters are the ones that are fighting for a spot in my top 10, and the reason why I have 11 characters here is because the number 10 spot, I really could not decide who I wanted to give it to between these two characters. So I'll leave it up to you guys to let me know who you think is most deserving. But for me, these two characters are truly invaluable. I could not go back to a time where I was playing this game without them. They're characters I use every single day, right? So that's why I cannot, absolutely not leave them off this list. Now jumping right into it, the number 10 spot is actually split between the Wasp and Phil Coulson. These two characters are truly invaluable. In my opinion, I use Phil Coulson basically every single day for World Boss Ultimate, and any day that I can use him in ABX is a great day. Honestly, the character himself though is pure garbage, as you can probably tell by the fact that I have all his skills still at 1. If you guys have been following me for any length of time, you will know that any character that I believe in, honestly, I will always get their skills to 6. Even if you don't need to get all of their skills to 6, I will do that because that's the kind of a person I am. However, for Phil Coulson, he's not useful for anything besides his tier 2 passive. He's a great tier 2 passive that makes him an amazing support character, but on his own, he's pure garbage, pure filth. So I would honestly say you don't even need to give him an ISO set, you don't need to give him an obelisk, and you definitely don't need to buy a uniform for him, even though it gives you some additional defense. But honestly, the only use that this guy has is his tier 2 passive. If he was a better character, he would be much higher up on this list, but because he's only useful for his tier 2 passive and it only gets applied to heroes, that's why he's so low down on this list. Now, unlike Phil Coulson, who is just pure garbage without his tier 2 passive, the Wasp is actually a pretty decent character for something like Shadowland below stage 25. After that, it just gets really difficult and she doesn't have the DPS to keep up there. However, the number one reason why she's on this list for me is because of her tier 2 passive, giving her that debuff removal. This thing is actually truly invaluable for PvP. Any week that I can't use my Jean Grey, the Wasp is a staple in my team because otherwise I'm gonna get debuffed like crazy by the likes of Doctor Strange or maybe Spider-Man, because those two characters are really difficult to deal with without debuff removal. So to counter those characters, I always bring the Wasp in my team. Overall though, she's pretty decent. Anyways, you don't need this uniform for her. For any of you guys who are wondering, I have that legendary, and that's because I bought it when it initially came out because I thought it would give her a significant increase to her DPS, but sadly it doesn't. However, in this uniform, because of the iframes on the 1 and the 2, she's actually really annoying for timeline battle. And if you need a character to stall early on in the fight to make it so that when your stronger characters come out, their skills are not on cooldown, the Wasp is actually really good for that as well. Her leadership also gets stronger in this uniform. So overall, the uniform is not completely useless, but it's not a must buy for me. Moving on, number 9 was also a shared spot between War Machine and Inferno, but ultimately I decided I wanted to give it to Rody. But he could have easily gone to Inferno because Inferno in this uniform is incredibly powerful, okay? He has a long iframe on the 4th, a really strong 5th skill, an attack buff on the 3rd, like honestly, a heal thanks to his uniform, which is one of the things he definitely needed because his base kit didn't have the survivability. But ultimately I decided I wanted to give it to Rody, give him some shine because he's actually incredibly powerful. His 5th skill is so freaking strong, can basically one-shot anyone, but he has no real PvP usage. To be honest, Inferno doesn't have that much PvP usage either, but Inferno can heal, so Inferno may be slightly more useful than Rody in that regard. But Rody's 5, his 4, and his 3 actually has really decent damage, and on top of that, he has a guard hit right here. Don't buy any of the other uniforms for this guy unless it's being sold for gold, because they're pure garbage in my opinion. Moving on, number 8 is actually really painful for me because I really wanted her to be much higher on this list, but as time passes, characters get stronger and she just keeps falling down the list, okay? Number 8 is none other than Sharon Rogers. Now the uniform for her is definitely not needed, but is highly recommended. It gives her a significant increase to her DPS and overall survivability, but even without the uniform, her survivability is really good because she has this damage block, damage accumulation on the third, and right here, her 5-4 combo in the uniform is basically death to any character that gets caught in it. Her tier 2 passive is also really, really good as well. So yeah, number 8 for me, Sharon Rogers. Time passes, she moved down the list, but she's still in my top 10. Gotta give it to her. Number 7 is only number 7 if you have this particular uniform and you have him at tier 3, okay? Iron Man. Iron Man needs this uniform to be above Sharon Rogers in my opinion. His DPS gets a massive increase in this uniform. His base kit is playable. I would say definitely don't buy any of these uniforms for him unless they're being sold for gold because they're really not that good. This one is a massive jump from the base, gives him a decent amount of DPS, and it gives him a little bit more survivability because the uniform actually gives him an HP shield that regenerates, okay? So yeah, Iron Man is actually pretty decent. I wish he was a lot better, and I think what he needs more than anything else is some form of a heal. If he got a heal similar to Iron Hammer, he would have been so much higher on this list for me because survivability is the #1 problem for Iron Man in this game right now. Uniform is great, tier 2 passive is good because it gives him some more damage, and the tier 3 passive is amazing because it allows you to summon all of his previous suits. I wonder if that's gonna change, and when he gets another uniform in the future, that new suit is going to get added to the summons. That would be really cool if it evolves over time, and that would actually make him significantly higher up on this list if that happens. Doubt it will though, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, number 7 for me, Iron Man. Next on this list, number 6, guys. Now, a lot of you guys may disagree with this, but the #1 reason why this guy is number 6 for me is because he is the best Blast supervillain in the game. He's the best choice for Blast supervillain ABX. That's why he's number 6, but his overall kit is pretty decent. He has invincibility, decent damage, good crowd control. He's decent for PvP, and he's really good for PvE as well. But yeah, number 6 for me is actually Strife. Moving on, number 5 is actually the good old Doctor, okay? Doctor Strange. Number 5 because of the time freeze. More than anything else, the time freeze is lethal, okay? Time freeze is great when he's a striker, great for PvP. Any character that's not running debuff removal is basically dead when they go up against Doctor Strange in PvP. This uniform is not necessarily needed, but you definitely want to have a uniform for Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange without a uniform is really not that good, and to be honest, he looks like outdated to me anyways. This one right here, pretty decent because you get that heal and the reflect. That's one of the most important things about Doctor Strange, but this one right here, man, is freaking awesome, okay? So definitely pick it up if you get an opportunity to, okay? Doctor Strange, the time freeze is what makes him number 5 on this list, but his overall kit is really, really good. Massive attack buff on the freaking 5th here. Iframe on the 4, and we have amazing damage on the 2. Moving on, we have the number 4 character. Some of you guys are gonna disagree with this, but number 4 for me is actually Petsy, Baylock. Absolutely love me some Psylocke, okay? So number 4 for 2 particular reasons. Well, 3 reasons. 1, World Boss Ultimate. She can clear up to 42 against Ebony Maw. She can clear up to 39 against Corvus Glaive, and she can clear up to, I believe, 25 is the highest I've been able to consistently clear against Black Dwarf, okay? The reason why she's above Doctor Strange is because of her World Boss Ultimate potential. She can also outscore Doctor Strange in ABX. However, when it comes to PvP, Doctor Strange may be a slightly better character there because of the time freeze. And also, Doctor Strange can hit you while you're in iframes in his new Infinity War uniform. But Petsy is no slouch, okay? The mind control is lethal. Her overall DPS is amazing, okay? Also, she has multiple iframes and damage block. She's a freaking amazing character. If she's not number 4 for you, she's probably definitely in your top 10 if you have her. If she's not, I don't know what your top 10 looks like, but it's probably not a good top 10. Anyways, I'm just saying. I'm just playing with y'all, man. Moving on. Number 3, the DPS god. Need I say more? Cable is the strongest offensive character in Marvel Future Fight. You pick up this uniform, no other character can deal more damage than Cable. That is amazing. This guy is the strongest character in the game, thanks to the fact that you can channel his 5th skill indefinitely, give him a CTP of energy, pick up this uniform to freaking make his chain hit even stronger. And yeah, DPS god, need not say anymore. He also has a heal, multiple iframes, omega level mutant, omega level DPS. That's all I have to say. Number 2. Now, number 2 is going to be a little bit controversial for a lot of people, but she's number 2 on this list because of her DPS. She's number 1 in PvP, but on this very list, there's at least 6 characters that can out DPS her in World Boss Ultimate and in Alliance Battle. So that's why she's in that number 2 spot. I know some of you guys still won't agree with me, but it is most definitely Jean Grey. She's still one of the queens of Marvel Future Fight, and she's definitely my most reliable PvP character because of the fact that she heals, she has revive, she has lots of iframes, she has time freeze, she has basically everything. And once she gets a uniform, there's no doubt in my mind she'll be back at the top where she belongs, right? But she's number 2 for me. She may be number 1 for a lot of you guys, okay? Number 1, you guys already know who it is. My baby, Wanda, guys. Wanda is number 1, okay? Right now, she's one of the most useful characters in PvE, more specifically World Boss Ultimate. She makes basically 4 of 5 World Boss Ultimate stages child's play, thanks in part to her uniform. The mind control is freaking amazing, but her overall damage is great. She also has the ability to reduce the defenses on the bosses, and those bosses have a lot of freaking defense, so that really helps when she's a striker and she comes in and she strikes for you. When she hits that 4 skill, it is like magic, okay? It can make characters that would otherwise not be able to clear a World Boss Ultimate stage on their own completely decimated. And that is why she's number 1. She's an amazing striker, obviously an amazing kit because she can rock double support thanks to her leadership, the mind control, the all defense, the damage block, the iframes. There's so much I could say about Wanda. I could go on for days. Like, she's freaking awesome. Uniform is a must buy, okay? You need to buy it immediately. You need to get it to Mythic, and you probably should go ahead and buy every single uniform that is required for it because she is worth it. She's worth everything that you're gonna invest and more, okay? Honestly, I'm not just saying that because I love Wanda. I'm saying that because it's the truth. But yeah, that is my top 10 for the Blast category. Leave yours in the comment section, guys. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace out.